Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung believed that it's essential to live a symbolic life because to be connected to our inner symbols is to be connected to a deeper layer of ourselves. Jung believed that the soul speaks to us in the language of symbols and that only the symbolic life can express the daily need of the soul. He connected it very much to the feeling of meaning in one's life because the symbols carry such a numinous quality. So it was also almost like being connected to a more spiritual realm of yourself. Today we're going to be doing an art exercise, or rather a series of exercises that help you to find your inner symbol, but also to become acquainted with its essence, how it lives within you at this moment in time. So before we start, I just want to go over what exactly is a symbol. A symbol is something that cannot be fully determined. If it can be fully determined and we know exactly what it means, then actually it is a sign and not a symbol. Jung regarded the symbol as the announcement of something unknown. So to give you an example, if you were to see a cross on a map, then you would know that that probably points to a church, that in that place there is a church. But if you were to see that same cross inside of a church, then you would not know the exact meaning of that because it can mean so many different things to so many different people. And it can mean a lot more than that cross which you saw on the map. So then inside of that church, it would be a symbol. So symbols can come to us in many ways. Dreams are a great way to kind of keep track of what symbols are coming to you from the unconscious. But also art is a great way to build a relationship with those symbols because we're not only just kind of passive viewers of those symbols, we can also build a relationship with them, and we can kind of, with art, we can dream the dream forward, as in we don't need to be stuck with that symbol. It can change and evolve, and it can also help us move something within that would otherwise maybe have been stuck. So before we start, I just want to give you a list of some basic materials that you're going to need. First, we're going to be doing some collage, so you'll need some old newspapers or magazines, and then some scissors and glue. And then we'll be making an image, which you can do either by painting or drawing. So you'll need just any kind of paints, watercolors, gouache, acrylics, or drawing materials like crayons or colored pencils. Just use what you have at home. And some basic kind of paper, or if you want to use an art journal, that would be even better. That's what I used. So to start off, we're going to be making a collage. And to do this, you want to take a stack of old magazines and just cut out any pictures that resonate to you for some reason. I suggest just working quite quickly and not thinking about it too much. It's better to have too many pictures at this point than too few. And after you have a good pile cut out, you're just gonna be arranging them on your art journal or sheet of paper. I used an A4 sized art journal, so as a whole spread, that's equivalent to an A3 sized sheet of paper. In inches, it would be like 12 by 16. So just intuitively work with your images. There's really no strict intention here other than to just follow your feeling. The idea is to just gather a series of images that intuitively resonate to you or are somehow close to you at this point in time. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this. Just follow your guts, and whatever you make is going to be exactly what it's supposed to be. When you feel that you're ready with your collage, you want to pick out one part of that collage that feels the most important to you. It can be a single picture or a part of a picture. And if I look at my collage, I feel that the most important thing for me, or the one that resonated with me the most, was the bird in the center. of the spread with this kind of black hood on and the holes on the eyes. And then once I looked at that, I noticed that on the left of that is this wooden head structure or statue with also this headdress or hat on. So I chose that headdress, hat, hood concept as my symbol to work with further. So next we're going to be doing an active imagination exercise on this symbol that you chose. So to start off with, it would be good if you're in a space that's undisturbed, where you can be by yourself, where it's quiet. And you want to take the image of the symbol that you chose in your mind's eye. And it doesn't have to be the exact image that you have in the collage. It can be a version of that symbol that represents it to you. So once you have that, you can just close your eyes and relax for a bit, take a few deep breaths. And when you find yourself in a relaxed place, start concentrating on that symbol. And usually when you concentrate on it, it kind of starts to transform on its own. You can think of it kind of like a movie scene, and with this active imagination exercise, it's like playing it forward, where you've kind of stopped it in place, and then in your mind's eye it starts to live. So you just see if it transforms in any way, and maybe you can start seeing something in the background, maybe some other images or symbols start to come in, and maybe something happens to the symbol where it becomes different. It can also start speaking, and you just pay attention to what happens without forcing anything. And if nothing happens, that's really okay too. We're going to be painting or drawing next, so you can let the symbol kind of live through that process as well. All right, let's move on to the painting. For this part, you want to take whatever you experienced in the active imagination exercise and bring that onto the paper. So for example, I saw that this headdress hood thing was on a figure, and it started kind of melting downwards and downwards until it covered the whole figure. So that's what I was expressing here. And then while I was painting, for some reason I wanted to paint these flames on the sides, and that's really good. You just want to go with the process. This can totally transform still. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing that you had in the active imagination. And if you didn't experience anything during the active imagination, then let the process carry itself. So the symbol can come onto the paper, and you just trust whatever come through your hands. I really love the quote by Jung that says, "The hands will often solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain." So that really applies here too. And really just trust the wisdom of your hands. And if you don't know how to start, just put a timer on for 15 minutes and start painting, and don't stop painting until you hear that timer go off. So you will be surprised what comes on the paper just by having an intention. Your unconscious and your hands will work out the rest, and you don't even need to think about it. So next we're going to be writing about our symbol, and the first thing to do is to give that symbol a word, kind of to clarify and identify that symbol. The symbol may not be the same as it was in the collage exercise. It may have transformed in the active imagination and the image making. So just look at your image that you made, and just kind of take the word for the symbol out of that image. So for me, I had the symbol of the cloak, and when you've identified that word, just put it on the center of your paper and circle it, and then you just want to start kind of writing associations that you have to that symbol. And after you made those associations, you go even further to write any memories or thoughts from your own life, how those words and associations apply to your own life. Writing about images is really important because it helps deepen our connection to the image. It helps to bring what's in the image more into our consciousness. Words kind of work like that as a bridge from the image to our conscious minds. And I did actually make another video about 5 writing exercises that you can do about images. If you choose, you can also watch that video and pick one of those exercises if you want to write about the image in a more creative and imaginative way. So I'm going to also link that in the description box. So anyway, when I was writing about this cloak symbol, I realized that it has a lot to do about hiding, kind of staying inside of a private area, a boundary or a protection from the outside world. So I think it's related to some kind of feeling of shame about being seen, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it's coming up now that I'm doing these YouTube videos, because I've kind of, by doing this, I'm just making myself so seen, and I've had to work a lot with that, becoming more confident in front of the camera. So that was kind of the realm or theme I was working with, but I suggest that you just go as far as you can with this writing exercise and find as many associations as you're able to. The last step in working with this symbol is going to be amplifying it in a more collective way. So when we were writing the previous exercise, it was more about finding the personal associations that we have with that symbol. But the symbol always has not only a personal level, but a collective level as well. So if you want, you can go even deeper and find the collective level of that symbol by researching about it on different places online. You can use dream dictionaries, but those are good to use only after you've explored the personal symbolism or the personal associations to that symbol. But those are good ways to kind of reach some possibilities or kind of find deeper roots of that symbol. And you might just want to write them down somewhere, or if you have a printer, just print out some images that come up related to that symbol, and you can collect them in your journal, and they might be something that come alive, or maybe you kind of have some realizations about those things later on. So this is just a process of kind of circumambulating the symbol. You have to accept that we will never understand what it actually means, and that is the power of the symbol. We can kind of go around it and maybe get closer to it with just giving it attention and giving it time, but we will never actually fully know what it means.